If you're a golfer and you want to play into retirement without any back pain or injuries, well, you're in luck, because in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 of the best fundamental hip and low back exercises I give to my patients who are golfers and who struggle with low back pain or just want to improve the efficiency of their swing. We're also going to be talking about some of the anatomical and physiological considerations that you need to take when dealing with low back pain. Hi, my name is Dr. Leo Seidel, and I hold a doctorate in physical therapy, and I've worked with athletes from all different sport backgrounds. My whole purpose with this page is to give you guys some of the tips, tricks, and knowledge that the pros use to maximize their athletic performance while mitigating their injuries. The whole motto here at Everyone Athlete is exactly that. Everyone is an athlete, whether you're a dancer, a cyclist, a professional football player, or just a weekend warrior. You should always be looking to better yourself and prevent further injuries. Now, there are a bunch of reasons why you could be having low back pain, and a lot of those reasons will be talked about in future videos. But for now, what I want to do is set you guys up with some fundamental mobility and strength exercises that you guys can implement today to better your low back pain and prevent injuries, specifically as it pertains to golf. So if this is something that's actually beneficial to you and you like this type of content, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to this channel so that you can maximize your athletic performance and prevent injuries in the future. Without further ado, let's get started. First off, let's talk a little bit about the anatomy of the spine. The spine can be broken down into 4 segments. You have the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and sacral spine. Now, while there are a bunch of things that I could talk about on the spine, what I really want to focus on today are these things called facet joints. These joints are the primary things that help determine which direction each part of the spine prefers to move in. Now, for example, the thoracic spine, if you take a look at how the facet joints are angled, they are angled halfway between the frontal plane and the transverse plane. Now, if we think about that, that makes them optimized for either bending to the side or rotation. Now, if we look at the lumbar spine, though, these facet joints are orientated mostly in the sagittal plane or front to back plane. As we can see, these will be better optimized for bending forward and bending backwards. Now, why do I bring this up? For the majority of sports, being able to generate rotation through your trunk and your hips are crucial in developing appropriate power for a throw, a swing, or a kick. Now, it also just so happens to be that the thoracic spine and the hips are some of the stiffest joints in the body, especially if neglected. But your body still needs to perform, and so it'll pull extra motion and mobility from other joints like the shoulders and the low back to make up for the lack of motion in the thoracic spine and hips. As we saw previously, the lumbar spine isn't meant to do rotational movements. And so over time, it can get inflamed and elicit pain. So when we're talking about dealing with back pain, we first have to understand that a lot of times, the things that we're going to have to deal with are actually outside of the lumbar spine. The noisy segments or the painful segments are sometimes just telling us that something is off somewhere else in the body. Okay, so now that we understand how we got here, we can now start to talk about some of the exercises we can do to build ourselves back up and to mitigate further injuries. So without further ado, let's get into 5 of the best fundamental exercises I give to my patients to help deal with their low back pain. Starting off, we gotta mobilize that thoracic spine that we talked about. A perfect exercise for this is called half kneeling open books. Now, if kneeling is problematic for your knees, then you can do these seated as well. The main thing with this exercise is you wanna make sure that you're opening up into the knee that's raised. Raising that knee will help tighten the structures behind the lumbar spine, and it will help limit the motion of the lumbar spine so that we're effectively targeting the thoracic spine. You also want to make sure that you're looking at the direction of where you're opening up to, as this neck motion will also help mobilize the upper part of the thoracic spine, which tends to get very stiff as well. Next up, we got a few exercises that'll work on the internal rotation of your hip, something that is generally pretty stiff on most people, and if that motion is limited, gets taken up by your lumbar spine. First off, we got hip airplanes. Normally when performing this exercise, your legs are supposed to be straight, more like this right here. But I've personally been trying to build up my hip strength and mobility, which is why they look like soggy noodles. But you get the idea. You want to make sure you feel a deep stretch on the outside of your hips as you come down and squeeze those glutes when coming back up. After this, we have a much easier exercise, but still super effective. It's called seated hip internal rotation. You want to make sure you keep your hips down on the bench and hold at the top of the range for about a second or so to really get control of the movement and prevent yourself from swinging too much. Internal rotation is generally more limited than any other motion of the hip, so just take that into consideration and don't try to overdo yourself. Next up, we got banded fire hydrants. These will be working on the hip abductors and external rotators of the hip. So external rotators will oppose internal rotation, especially at the end of the golf swing. And so working these external rotators will actually help you control the rotation of the hip and therefore do it appropriately and get a better swing out of it. Now with this one, you want to make sure that your leg is going straight out to the side and not going too far forward. Really, this should look like a dog taking care of business on a fire hydrant. Thus the name fire hydrant. Finally, we got pal-off presses with rotation to help strengthen and stabilize the lumbar spine. You can do this with cables or with bands, but just make sure to set this at around shoulder height and keep your hips as straight forward as you can. Rotate with your trunk only to strengthen the muscles of the spine and help stabilize this area to prevent further injuries. Here's a list of the exercises that we've talked about in this video. Feel free to pause it, take a screenshot so you can implement it into your own personal workout. If you guys want me to cover any topics or any injuries that I haven't talked about yet, make sure to drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to implement them in future videos. Again, if you like this type of content, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel to let YouTube know that I'm doing something right, and follow along in this journey so you can learn how to better maximize your athletic performance and prevent future injuries. See you guys in the next video.